Rev up your engines!
Finally, good news on the gasoline front. Gasoline is expected to hit a 20-year low at the pump. Now, spending on gasoline will average less than 2% of your disposable income this year. Gas is getting cheaper. Why? Because oil's getting cheaper. U.S. benchmark oil the other day was $62. Used to be over $100 a barrel when it got high. So that's one of the reasons that companies like Shell are laying off 1,500 employees. Because when the price of oil gets low, their profit margin sinks. They start laying people off. Right? Now, this is what I find absolutely hilarious. You know, when they shut down refineries, then they raise the price. Well, there's not enough oil. We're going to raise the price of gasoline to you, right? Are still selling the same amount of oil at a lower price, so they make less profit. And, of course, now the hilarious thing is OPEC and the Russians are increasing their oil output because they want money. And that also drops the price of oil down because they put a glut on the market. Their own greed is shooting them in the backside. Of course, the Russians are doing it because they got to pay for their stupid war that they're running, right? And the Arabs are always wasting money on stupid things. They're losing all their money in the electric car investments. Their economy isn't doing that hot, right? So their whole idea is to sell more oil, right? Well, guess what? That makes the price come down. So good news for us all, at least in the short run, that we won't have to pay as much. They'll probably think of some excuse to raise it. We all know how it goes, but at least in the short run now, with oil at $62 a barrel, the price of gasoline that we buy is going down. Of course, not going down as fast as the price of the oil itself. They always, put their profit margin in there as much as they can, but at least it's coming down some. Well, it looks like another electric car making company is flushing itself down the toilet, facing Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And if you haven't guessed what it is, Polestar. Now, originally, Polestar was making cars with Volvo, electric cars, and Volvo said, we're going to do it on our own. The heck with Polestar, right? Well, the company is obviously completely starting to fall apart. All right? I checked the stock price of Polestar, and it is now 29 cents, baby. How it even is existing is beyond me. Okay, the highest price Polestar ever was 2021, and it was $15.33 a share. Now, indeed, it is a penny stock. Being a penny stock, there's no surprise that the company's on the verge of bankruptcy. Now, there, of course, they say, oh, no, we're still going. Well, from what the number cruncher boys say, they're going to need another $2 billion infused in this company to keep it going because they are burning through cash like no tomorrow. The company has a total debt burden of $5.1 billion. People are saying unless they can get a $2 billion cash investment, the company's going to go down the toilet. As the auditor of Polestar Automotive Holdings said, we give an unqualified opinion expressing doubt that the company can continue as a going concern. And this was May 2025. So, the company is indeed, they owe tons of money. They're not making any money. Every year they've been out, they've lost money. They're burning cash like no tomorrow, and they have a debt burden of $5.1 billion. Plus, they're now trading at, not even a third of a dollar. They're a penny stock. So I wouldn't be surprised if Polestar goes, I feel sorry for you people out there. Man, granted, there aren't that many of them that have bought Polestars in the United States, but you're probably going to have a real hard time getting parts, getting warranty work done, because the company will probably disappear. They've only sold 3,800 vehicles in the United States 2024, and their year's 3/4 over. So, I feel sorry for those 3,822 people who bought them. Well, Volkswagen's CEO is changing up their electric car plans. They're even admitting that some of their models don't even work anymore. Now, back in the past, Volkswagen said by 2030, they were expecting a large percentage of their cars to be electric. They said that by 2030, 55% of their sales are going to be electric cars. Well, guess what? They've now dropped that too. They're expecting about 20% of them to be pure electric cars, okay? That's a big change, right? They're finding out the ID.7 sedan they were going to build, the fancy one, that's been canceled entirely. They're not even going to make it. They're not a stupid company. Obviously, they looked at Mercedes and found that Mercedes luxury electric cars, they can't give them away. Nobody wants the stupid things. And everybody knows that ID.Buzz van has been called a gigantic flop due to how much it cost and what low range it actually has. Let's face it, it's still a little bitty van, right? It's not aerodynamic. The real problem with the original microvans certainly weren't aerodynamic at all. I know people that had them, they were blown off the highway when they were driving out. Big wind came, boxy, the wind would blow them over. Now, gas mods, they still got good gas mods because they had that tiny little engine now. I mean, they didn't get the phenomenal gas miles that a Bug got, being small and more aerodynamic, but still, they had a tiny little four-cylinder engine. They got decent gas mileage, right? But you need phenomenal gas mileage if you have an electric vehicle. So a squarish electrical vehicle going down the road that isn't that aerodynamic was a dumb idea to begin with. Well, Volkswagen is figuring out, hey, it's not working. And he even said, quote, "We need to work on our cost, especially the ID.Bus. They realize it costs too much money. But the problem is, if they make them cheaper, put cheaper batteries in them, they'd even have a smaller range, and they'd be even a dumber idea, right?" Now, they're trying to pull all their tricks out of their basket, right? They're saying that, well, Volkswagen is going to promise a massive investment in the U.S., and that could even include a U.S. factory for Audi. Who wants Audis? I read an article the other day. Is there any reason to buy an Audi, the guy said, and he came to the conclusion there really wasn't, because there were other cars out there were better, cheaper, and Audi just, there's really no reason for it to even exist as a company. So, Volkswagen is indeed deep doo-doo, and they're realizing, gee, these electric car plans, they're not working out so great. Always be wary of people touting how great something is until you follow up the bottom line. Chevy Silverado says, our EV sales have a record jump during quarter 2 of 2025, right? They increased 39%, right? Okay, well, it still isn't squat, because last year, they sold 2,196 of them, and this time they sold 3,056. And yes, that's a 39% increase, but it isn't squat. It's hardly anything at all. To give you figures of other companies, okay, an absolute failure, which everybody knows, is the Cybertruck, right? And the Cybertruck sold 4,306 in the same period. 1,300 more than Chevy did. So if you're saying that this is great, it's baloney. And the Tesla Cybertruck, their sales were down 46%. 2024, during the same quarter, they sold 8,000. Now they sold almost half, 4,300. So even though they say, oh, look, it's up, they're selling more Silverado electric trucks. Baloney. They only went from 2,196 to 3,056. So they're not selling that many of them. Let's face the facts. Ford sold almost twice as many F-150 Lightning electric trucks that same quarter, and it's a massive failure too. So if you're comparing failure to failure, their sales went up. Example, for the F-150 Lightning that same quarter, their sales were down 26%, while the Chevy Silverado EVs were up 39%. But Ford still sold almost twice as many. So be wary of this. It went up, it went down. Look at the bottom line. And if it is that small amount, it doesn't mean diddly squat anyway. All right, an actual Mercedes-Benz had solid-state batteries and went 750 miles on a charge. Now, this is a Mercedes EQS. And it's an experimental one, too. It's not one that's for sale to the public yet. Realize that a fully loaded EQS S80 goes for $123,900. So, one, it's only for the ultra-rich to begin with. And you can't buy one, even if you have the money to buy one, because this is an experimental one. But it is a solid-state battery. And they said it went 750 miles, according to a test that did it. Now, of course, it's Mercedes. They didn't give us the actual breakdown of the test. They just said it drove 750 miles on a single charge. It went from Stuttgart, Germany to Malmö, Sweden. Now, we don't know what speed they went, because a lot of these tests are horse manure. When Tesla was testing their battery electric semi-trucks, they said, look, we went this far. And then you find out the average speed was 30 miles an hour. On the highway, those trucks are going 75, and they're not going to get that same range. So we don't know what it is. But it is an actual solid-state battery in a Mercedes that went 750 miles. So it's beginning to come out, solid-state batteries. Now, like I said, it's in a super expensive vehicle. They say they're aiming to make regular production cars by 2027, 2028, 2 or 3 years. So they're testing them out now, actual solid-state batteries, in a super expensive car, mind you. But it looks like the road to solid-state batteries, unless these things start falling apart, right? This is the test. Went 750 miles. Let's wait when it goes 150,000 miles and see how it lasted and stuff like that. You still got to wait. It's not really for prime time, but they're out there testing a Mercedes now with solid-state batteries that went 750 miles in a reasonably large-sized car. It wasn't some little toy, two-seater. It was an actual car. Well, Ram has another recall. This one's rather hilarious. They made American trucks worse and Canadian trucks better. It turns out that they put the Canadian dashes on some of the American trucks and the American truck dashes on some of the trucks that went to Canada. Each country has certain laws of what warning lights should look. For instance, the Canadians doesn't say brake, it's got a picture of the brakes, where the Americans, it has to say brake in big B-R-A-K-E words. Now, both countries say that they can't do it and they have to fix it for different reasons. Now, ours have to say brake. That's the law. Tesla had that thing that didn't have the brake big enough and they had to recall them, so that's the law. But in Canada, they go for more universal. Now, the interesting thing about the Canadians is they generally have a law. Everything has to be bilingual, right? You go over there, their stop signs say stop, and they also say arrête, whatever French is for stop, right? They got to say both because that's their law in their country. They were woke a long time before woke was in with French and English, that they had to put everything, even though everybody in Western Canada speaks English, nobody speaks French, they still had to do everything bilingually by law. So I guess we can blame all this woke stuff on the Canadians. They started this whole thing, right? But they have trucks now that say brake instead of the symbol. Well, it would have to say brake and arrête at the same time. We'd have to have it in English and French, which it doesn't. So now they got to switch the dashes from one to the other, which isn't a surprise. Stellantis making mistakes. They have the same ISO 7000 standards that we do, that they have to have certain things on them, but the actual wording is different. Say it says brake in the United States ones, and they didn't say that. So, hey, font for 2.2 million Teslas was too small, it said brake, so they had to change it so it said brake bigger. Well, now they got to swap dashes out because they put the Canadian ones in the American trucks and the American ones in the Canadian trucks. Rather hilarious. Well, speaking of flying cars, Chinese company Xpeng, their founder says that it will have flying cars up in the air by the year 2026. Okay, now that's only next year. So realize that Xpeng is a pretty much up-and-coming car company. It was founded in 2014 and started selling cars in Europe in 2021, and they've delivered 271,000 vehicles since August of this year, up to August of 26th year, and that's a 252% increase over the same period in 2024. So, the up-and-coming Chinese company are making cars, right? But they say that they are going to have a flying car sometime in 2026, but a real question mark when they call it a flying car. Look at a picture, okay? Look at a picture. It's got this weird-looking thing that looks like an even more perverted Cybertruck. It's got 4 wheels in the back and 2 in the front, kind of like a half-track or something, right? But I can't really call it a flying car because if you see, they open the tailgate in the back and out comes this square thing that when you fold the wings out, it just Another one of those flying drones. So the car itself isn't flying. I knew there had to be some gimmick. No, they're going to have a flying car out next year at the Flyers. It's this vehicle that carries a big drone, that then the drone comes out, you unfold that, and you fly around in the drone. Of course, they're giving no figures on how far the drone can fly and yada yada, because that guy just actually bought the first Jetson one, and it is a maximum flying time of 20 minutes, so it isn't going to go that far, right? And that's maximum going slow. So I think the Chinese are kind of cheap when they say they have a flying car for sale. It's just a drone that fits in the back of this weird-looking Cybertruck thing and flies around. So, again, we don't have any real flying cars out there, certainly not any mass-produced ones. Although the Chinese are trying to sneak this in as a flying car. I don't know. They're certainly taking a liberal notion of what a flying car is. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.